you're always going to be the worst at something the first time you do it. You know,
100%.
you never do something 10 times and you're way worse at it than when you first started. So for anybody out there that does have a goal of, you know, maybe it is improving your social media, maybe it is doing stand-up comedy, maybe it's learning piano, maybe it's skateboarding or something like that. Don't let other people that you see that are maybe better than you at it discourage you from going out and do your thing and just trying your best overall.
Right.
Because it does take practice to get good at things. I don't think that there's too many people that are born like a prodigy. I don't think everybody that's in every profession doing everything creative just was born and they were like, I am the best painter alive. Like, I'm so ready to paint.
Right.
No, they worked on their craft and they honed their skills and they got really good at it. And if you want to try to pursue something like that, I just want to be here to encourage you to go try that thing.
Have you ever heard of the 10,000 hours rule?
Maybe if you expand on it.
So the 10,000 hours rule is basically saying you have to practice something 10,000 hours to become a master or really good at it, basically.
Interesting.
That's the rule that science has promoted. 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert at that thing.
Oh, that's
and that's a lot.
That's a large number.
That's a lot. That's a really large number. So, but you make a really good point because one thing I want to share too is when I was actually, because we worked at PacSun, right?
Indeed, we did.
I had the emo haircut. Maybe we can edit a picture in. I'll give you a picture on AirDrop. And it magically appears.
Yes,
emo Will is here. But
you worked on that hairstyle for 10,000 hours?
Yeah, all the time. Dude, I used to straighten my hair.
Yeah, okay.
You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah. I used to blow dry my hair all the time.
Did you?
I never straightened, but I would blow dry the shit out of my hair when I had long hair.
Yeah, I used to straighten it and I wore the beanie and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was straightened. But my larger point, not to straighten hair.
That wasn't the point?
I didn't straighten my hair for 10,000 hours, that's for sure. But now I have no hair, so it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But so basically my point is this. I started playing music when I was 19, basically.
Uh-huh.
I started playing bass beforehand, but I never really took it that seriously. I was okay at it. But when I turned 19, I was like, I'm going to learn guitar and piano.
Yeah.
And I took that so seriously. I told you, I practice 2 hours of piano a day and an hour of guitar a day every single day, if not more sometimes. So... And you know what you have to deal with too? Because like you said, you make a really good point. Rarely are you going to find someone that just picks up an instrument and they can play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least have a good sense of rhythm or an ear, so forth, right?
Yep.
Very rarely. So, but there are people like myself. I'm not the most talented natural musician, but I spend a lot of time at it so I could get pretty decent at it. So, and with you, like I said, when I first started out, right?
Yeah.
You're going to suck. I mean, you just have to deal with it. So like I was playing guitar and we had friends over at the house and stuff because they were always over just playing Warcraft and whatever.
I thought you were going to say playing guitar.
No. That was me. But so I would sit in the living room and I was like just starting out, so I wasn't very good. And I remember one instance in specifically, and this happened maybe a few times, where I was just playing and I wasn't very good and I was trying to learn a song, so it was just struggles, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, and a friend put his headphones on. He was like, "Sorry, man," and like basically, I just suck, right? And he doesn't want to listen to it.
I don't want to listen to this.
So right, so basically, like, and that was kind of stuck with me, and that motivated me.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, you know what? I don't want to feel like I suck at something, but you're gonna have to feel like that because you have to spend in the time, and the more time you put into it, the faster you're gonna not have to feel that anymore. Because like I got pretty good actually within like 6 months. Like my teacher said I made so much progress because I put in the time. I was not like Mozart. I'm not that most talented of a musician. I can just learn things because I put so much time into it.
Yeah. I think if you value something and you are willing to put in the time,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier if it's something that you like. And I do want to make kind of like a roundabout point here in a second.
Yeah.
But if it's something that you like and you do want to invest the time, I think you'll see your growth move a lot quicker than if it's something that you're like, ooh, I don't want to do, but like I've got to do it.
Right. You won't do it then.
Yeah. For example, like work or school or something like that. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a drag to go to work or it's a drag to go to school. Well, if that's how you feel about it and you're like not really investing time into doing something like that, it's going to feel shittier a lot longer because you're not going to be good at it. And nobody likes doing things that they're not good at.
Right.
So I guess let me make a couple points real quick.
Yeah.
Also spend the time getting good at practicing. You know what I mean? Spend the time to say like, hey, I know I'm not going to be awesome at this, but I'm willing to put in the hours, those foundation hours, to make sure that I do have some sort of base to stand on, so that I can get, motivated when I want to go do these things. And I think it's just like a mental approach that you can take in your life in general. is knowing that, hey, the first time I do anything, I'm not going to be that great at it. But if I work at it and I do invest my time, like I don't dilly dally. Like for example, with your music, if you were like, okay, I want to learn how to play guitar, but you kind of picked up the guitar and maybe watched a YouTube video and then played a couple strings and you're like, man, I suck at this, and put it down after every 15 minutes. It's going to take you forever to get good. And before you get good, you're going to be so unmotivated that you're still trash that you're going to be like, yeah, I'm never going to learn this.
Right.
But you were dedicated to it. You put in the time.
I took lessons for piano and guitar, and I paid for them all myself because I really wanted to learn. And I wanted to do it the right way.
Dude, that's a good way to keep you honest, is to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Invest in yourself, invest in your time. It does kind of make you accountable to yourself and to whatever that craft may be, so that you can get good at it, or you just wasted not only time, but money as well.
I mean, when you say that, because Nick actually, I don't know if we've told you guys before, but Nick was a really good baseball player, and you played on Colonel, which was,
thanks, man.
Yeah, and Colonel was always kick ass. I mean, Colonel was always like the best team around for the most part. You guys had that rapport. You always played together for a long time. I mean, how many hours do you think you put into baseball?
Dude, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that ahead of time. But that is like a very literal example. So we played ball like, from the time that we were children, from T-ball all the way on. And then because I think there's like one of two ways that maybe you go about this. There's maybe things that you really like that you want to pursue. And then there's things that maybe you find that you're good at. Right, which there's definitely things that everybody's kind of naturally good at that they gravitate towards. At the time, baseball for me and my teammates was just something that we were all pretty good at, so we enjoyed doing it. So going out and spending an extra hour after practice or something like that was no big deal because we liked playing baseball.
Yeah.
We liked hitting bombs, you know what I mean? Like I want to stick around and hit some more home runs, or I like practice throwing or fielding or whatever it may be. But yeah, we definitely put in time and relating it to the team sport aspect, like spending time with your teammates and everything like that. Definitely goes in and it helps you just be more prepared for situations. I guess I'm going to steer this maybe more towards like the specific example of baseball.
Go for it.
But, when you practice certain situations consistently, you can get good or at least better. You can improve by having been through experiences more. I think that's why parents and grandparents are so wise, man. They've seen so much more life. They have by default just spent more time doing stuff, doing things. So they kind of know how that stuff shakes out. And same thing, whether you're doing a team sport or whether you're playing, guitar or something like that, exactly what chords come one after another with probably not even having to think about it. Yeah. Whereas when you first start off, you've got to be like, you like look down at the strings and shit, and you're like, where are my hands supposed to be?
Muscle memory, man.
Exactly. So the more you do things, just the more muscle memory that you gain and you improve on what you're doing. And then you can learn more advanced things. And that's when you really become like, quote unquote, good at something. Yeah. When you like I said, when you get that foundation, you master the basics, and then you can just keep powering through and taking it as high as your motivation will carry it.
Right. And I think honestly, it's the same way with creating videos, creating YouTube content, right? Like if we look back at our old videos, like my first video, I can't even watch my old videos anymore.
Dude.
Because I watch them and I'm like, man, this is not nearly as good as what it's become because I've evolved and grown, taken feedback into consideration, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be amazing at something right away. That's very rare. It does happen sometimes because everyone has some sort of skill that they're just probably pretty good at.
Yep.
But it just depends. And I'm really like, that's a rarity. So it's the exception more so than it is the rule.
Definitely. And just because you're not that person doesn't mean you can't get as good as that person.
100%.
If you put in the time. And kind of going back to our social media point, man, like follow those people that you view as better, that you view as creative, that you view as really good at these type of things.
Yep.
And, they say imitation is the finest form of flattery, right?
Yep.
Like find those things that you like out of different people that are doing this task or this skill that you want to be able to do for yourself. And how they go about it, and put those things into practice for yourself and strive to get to that level. I think that's a totally cool way of going about things.
You got to find the people and the artist, whatever, that motivates you to become invested and to create your own thing. So like a lot of, I followed when I was in that phase, and I still do. I follow a lot of musical artists that I really like their music.
Yeah.
And they inspire me. Owl City was a really big one for me.
Yeah, dude. I probably could have referenced that for you.
Yeah, because Owl City was always a really big one for me. And I have it around here somewhere. I have an Owl City sheet music book where I learned a lot of the songs in that book. Fireflies in particular, because that's his biggest one. But his music was like, he plays all the instruments himself.
Yeah.
So like that was something that the Rocket Summer is another band, a one-man band, Bryce Avery. So him and Adam Young from Owl City are both two guys that really inspire me. I never sang myself, but I did play all the instruments. So like, and I wanted to do that because those guys were so inspiring to me.
Yeah.
And just finding those people and following them and following what they do and seeing how they do things. They would sometimes do behind the scenes where they showed certain stuff, and I wanted to learn how I'm like, oh, they put that song together really cool. That's interesting how he did that. And then I would learn from that. So like finding those people that can motivate you to be better and, put more time into your craft.
Yeah, 100%, man. You're only going to go as far as you're willing to put in the effort at the end of the day. So if you guys are out there and you are considering, I guess how I'd like to wrap this up, and how we doing on time?
We're pretty good. We're about a little under 50 minutes.
Okay.
We could probably hit one more topic.
Okay. Well, so at least to wrap up this topic, what I'd like to say is, if you guys are interested in doing something, put in the time, put in the effort, and you'll find out very quickly if you actually like what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it takes some sort of like personal morale to get you through those bad periods. And you'll find out if you're like, for example, oh, I want to play guitar. Like, Will grinded it out. There was a brief period of time where I was like, I want to play guitar. And I was like, I honestly must not want to play guitar this bad, because I didn't want to spend my time doing it. But there are other things that I've pursued that I'm like, yeah, I enjoy doing this. Like, I want to spend the time, even like during my like poor phases of it. And then when you see improvement and when you get a little bit better, it gets easier. It seems more natural.
So rewarding when you get
That's
good.
the perfect word for it, dude. It's very rewarding. And in the meantime, find those motivational things. Find those people that inspire you, that can help you get through it. And hopefully, me and Will can inspire you to take that leap to maybe start something new.
In anything in life, put in the time and you'll be rewarded.
100%, dude.
Put in the
100%.
work, put in the time, you will be rewarded.
Yep.